4713 AR. Perhaps there is a way I can cheer up Orastrix. If a lot of the weight on him is indeed caused by his grandfather's great success, perhaps showing him that he too was perhaps just as lost as he is now would help him. He used to reside not far from here in a big temple on top of the Storval Rise, a majestic thing, I read, with a staircase reaching all the way down into the barren valley below, where the Ashwood is now located. It may be difficult to find, considering it has sunken deep into the cliffside for reasons yet undiscovered, but I'm sure I can find it if I put my mind to it. Addendum. Orastrix dislikes my idea. Perhaps dislike is not the right word. I have never before seen a gold get upset, but it rivals what Fesekarek did when I angered him. And just as I did when I angered Fesekarek, I may have soiled myself, for the second time now. Orastrix's anger when confronted with his grandfather's accomplishments does, however, confirm my suspicions. With shaking wings, I told him I'd search for the temple anyways. It put him at ease, I said. Addendum 2. Just as I was about to leave, Orastrix came to apologize. He said he appreciates my concern and that he values my opinions. He has even given me some things that may make my travels easier. How nice of him.
That gold dragon totally murdered this copper dragon.
Him.
Yep. Yeah.
That is so mean.
But this is a temple I want to find.
And this is not a good gold dragon.
No. No, he is not.
So is
He's
that
using the color of his scales to scam these other dragons.
Maybe he is.
Yeah,
Is this like
maybe
a flesh worm poison?
Is he a black dragon in disguise?
Man, that black dragon would fucking love it. But they can't get that big though, right?
We don't know how
Unless
big
he's
he
really
is.
fucking old.
We don't know.
Well, enough
how
to make
big-
this dragon soil itself.
Yeah.
Large.
Well, this is a temple we need to find. There is like amazing things in this temple. Also, I need it as a lair.
Alright, sure.
Well,
But
everything we
like
find you want to have as a
Right.
layer.
No,
Sure.
this
I
is.
thought you would live further down south. But
If
sure.
if I can find this temple, I love temples.
Sunken desert temples.
It's like that's like how.
You won't begin to claim my people here, though, right?
No, you can
Oh,
keep them. It's like a sandy place to live in.
Sure.
The face of the copper dragon looks at you expectantly.
Any newer entries?
The face shakes its head.
Can we search for subject?
Temple. The hidden temple of Arastrix's dad.
The eyes of the head roll back into his skull again. And back, as it says, I don't know about that topic. Do you want to add a new entry?
Nah, that's okay. Just have any other topics
What-
been
what
reviewed
is-
multiple times? That one then.
I don't know about that topic. Would you like to add a new entry?
Oh, it's a text adventure.
Sunta.
Pick up shovel.
Oh yeah, Sunta.
The eyes roll back into the skull once more. Sunta is a strange one. She stalks around all high and mighty, orders Fesekarek around, and even rides him on occasion, much to his dismay. It does seem like the rumors are true. Fesekarek wouldn't allow this kind of treatment of himself if he had any choice, as he is a red and all reds are terribly proud. But it doesn't appear like he thinks he has any choice. She must possess the red orb of dragonkind then. Fascinating. I wish I could see it, but it does not appear that Sunta is carrying it around with her, at least not openly. It is most likely kept in some secure place somewhere, but likely close by. Perhaps close enough for its power to still affect Fesekarek, or perhaps simply close enough that the threat of it alone is enough to make him do these things. Why does Sunta only have Fesekarek though? If she does indeed possess one of the artifacts created by Big Mother T herself, why settle for one? Fesekarek is a big one, old and experienced as he is, but there's bigger. Addendum. I have asked Arastrix about Sunta. It seems to be a somewhat sensible topic, but he was happy to shed some light on it regardless. Part of the deal between him and Sunta is that she does not use the orb to enslave anyone else. The Fesekarek was obtained before this deal had been made. Another part of the deal is that she gets to keep it after the thread has been destroyed, since it was her property to begin with. But then she is of course allowed to do as she wishes again. There's more to this deal of course, but Orestrix seemed very embarrassed by it and I didn't want to put any more weight on his already heavily loaded conscience. I suspect that Orestrix had to promise her wealth and or power, likely relating to the power vacuum that would exist in the East once the armies and the leaders have been defeated.
Restricts.
Second Abadius, 4713 AR. I didn't manage to talk to Orestrix yesterday, but now I have. He is not what I expected. For one whose words supposedly were so determined and unwavering when he talked in Absalom, he looks quite terrible. Haggard and exhausted, he must not have eaten in days and not slept much either. I suggested a break, perhaps a swim in one of the oases to the west, but he said that there's much work and thinking to be done still. It is quite evident that his plans aren't quite going the way he had hoped them to go. Organize a congregation of dragons to face twisted evils. It sounds almost easy, but apparently it's not. With the threat so distant in both time and location, many simply don't care yet, and according to Orestrix, once they do, it'll be too late. Even his summer feasts are only somewhat successful. One would think that free food, copious amounts of gifts, and a just cause would be enough to attract hundreds of dragons. All of us are, after all, interested in at least one of those three things. For me, it's the food. But many metallics don't want to come because Orestrix allied with Sunta. The chromatics are as selfish as always, and most don't give a damn unless dragged here by Fesekarek. And then there's the illness that many already call a plague. A gathering would be the worst thing to go to if it's indeed contagious. Part of his bad health might come from a malady that none can hope to cure, though. The attempt to be as great as his grandfather was. Or a Gnostics, advisor of kings and emperors, whose cryptic suggestions were reason enough for people to bring wagons and wagons full of valuables. So there's his grandfather who changed worlds with vague nonsense, and then there's him who's preparing for a grave threat and not getting anything done because none will listen to him. I can see how that would break him. It is a good thing that Ecalinis is helping him. While exactly not the most diplomatic of bronze dragons, he has a knack for organization and is at least as diligent as Orestrix himself. With him organizing the next feast, I'm sure it'll be far more successful.
Oops. Sorry.
The guy we killed?
Yeah.
Yes, we're killing the leadership.
I don't like this.
Good.
No, it's not.
What about plague?
I don't know about that topic. Would you like to add a new entry?
Sickness?
There's no topic relating to the sickness.
Where is your horde? Larian suggests.
Fesekarek.
13th Calistral, 4713 AR. The big rat, Fesekarek, has returned today, and with him a young brass who introduced himself as Tandalin. Fesekarek got almost literally dragged deep into the case by Sunta, who seemed to be pretty upset at him. An interesting sight considering as large as giants are, Fesekarek is quite a bit bigger. Talking to Tandalin was quite enjoyable. We shared many stories. I told him about my research in chromatic psychology, and he told me about how he met Orestrix, as well as a group of 4 wormlings, 3 chromatics and a primal. Can you believe that? A primal, I need to talk to him. I thought there was only one brine dragon on this plane. The little bugger seemed quite infatuated with Orestrix, and while he may not be the most formidable of allies, he is by far his most loyal one. I'd never thought that a young brass would team up with a big rat to learn how to fight. Note to self, write a play, this idea is gold. Tandalin has also
Gold!
Tandalin has also given me a list of things not to say when talking to Fesekarek. There seem to be quite a number of topics that will make talking to him quite impossible. 14th Calistral, 4713 AR. Today I talked to Fesekarek. I have said all the things on the list of things I shouldn't say to him. The one Tandalin gave me. Perhaps I should have avoided them first, but I couldn't resist. A number of observations. 1. The noon sun in the Sinlands is nothing compared to an angry red dragon. 2. I may have soiled myself. 3. The artifact controlling him must be powerful indeed to affect him without either Sunta or the artifact itself being present. While I did not make sure that he was forbidden from harming metallic dragons, it seems to be very much the case. Note to self, make absolutely sure that the big red dragon can't kill you next time you decide to anger one. His position seems to be pretty clear. While Orestrix goes around trying to convince metallics to join his cause, Visakerac does the same with chromatics. How this convincing works exactly would be an excellent addition to my research in chromatic psychology, but I think I may have lost my chance to talk to Visakerac. Instead of obtaining valuable academical research, all I have managed is to publicly soil myself. Great. Visakerac's convincing seems to be far more successful than Orestrix, at least. There are a number of smaller chromatics around who seem to follow because they, I suppose, smell the possibility of obtaining something. Power, wealth, whatever it is that motivates them. It's not the fact that losing the confrontation that Orestrix predicts would mean the death of Dragonkind as we know it. There's one exception, however. Harton, a wight from the land of Linnon Kings. I suspect that by following Visakerac, and therefore Orestrix willingly, and quite diligently too, he seeks to prove how smart he is compared to the other chromatics. Which is funny, because he's a wight, and wights are pretty dumb. He also likes to pride himself on the fact that he is one of the few who are going to collect tribute from the human clans to the west after the feast.
So a white dragon's gonna come here to collect tribute, huh? One of the few.
I'm starting to think more and more we need to go to this feast and see what's up.
What? Like in the that's like, let's go to the heart of our enemy's power and then sit right there as he condemns us.
We don't really know that there are enemies, honestly.
But he just poisoned this copper dragon with like flesh worms.
Maybe. But like, again, if that is like, imagine how monumental the threat must be for a gold dragon to do that.
So big that we can't stop it anyway.
We might.
Yes, he did study chromatic psychology.
I'd
like to meet this guy, you know?
Yeah, I'm so sad that he's dead. He sounds like a great guy.
Yeah. It's like he wants to meet me.
Yeah.
Although apparently Tandlin is blabbering even earlier than we expected. So
Yes, it did.
If we ask it, how many entries are there about chromatic psychology?
There are quite a few.
963.
Play it all.
No.
No. Stop.
I don't know what you mean. Continue. You broke it.
Eyes roll back and then come back down again.
Can we ask about the name of that white dragon? Maybe there's more than that guy. If you're gonna fight him, it's good to know.
If asked about the name of the white dragon, it would essentially repeat the entire chapter about Visakerac.
Oh, okay. How about the threat?
There's no entry about the threat.
Okay.
Anything extra on Tandlin?
I mean,
Get everything that's useful.
I mean, gold dragons are prophetic. They're like, they see the future and stuff. So that's why he's seeing. He's like, he has some vision. He's like, oh god, shit's gonna go down. We need to do something. So he's trying to do something.
Like, if he can't talk dragons who are smarter than us, like, if he can't get, like, the silver paladin dragons and whatnot, then, I mean, there's probably not a lot to it. If he can't get more than, like, himself, he was in Absalon. There's more dragons who listen to people in Absalon. Big gold dragons and whatnot, you know, dragons who are smarter than we are, and who might know much more about what's going on than we do. And they have not joined him.
I don't know that.
We question his own vision.
We need to investigate. Can't just assume. I mean, gold dragons are not usually wrong. And if something is corrupting the gold dragon or like influencing him with false visions, that might be interesting as well.
They are known for being big and haughty and all-knowing in their own, wallowing in their own self-wisdom.
Like, what if we can break whatever, like, if he's like controlled by something, if we can break that, imagine how incredibly pleased he would be.
Yeah, he sounds kind of like an idiot.
Gold. I don't know. mean, it has been said that the difference between a madman and a genius is success. So
They are the. If gold dragon were vampires, they'll be a Melkavian.
not normally.
Oh,
I just don't want to be enslaved again.
I agree.
think
I don't
any of
want
us
that either.
And going to this person right in their lab on a silver platter
No,
and
it's a
asking
party.
them why they want to control people seems to be just the way to do it.
It's a party. He's probably gonna present some case. He's hoping to get more dragons arriving at the party, and he's probably gonna do some
But
speeches
you are
and
all
stuff.
chromatic. And he said that they did not talk to chromatics. They sent the red to get them.
Yeah, he doesn't go and get the chromatics. He go and gets the metallics. But I imagine when everyone is gathered at the feast, he's gonna like tell us what's up.
Couldn't we send someone else who was not us? You had that lady. She can turn into a dragon,
Not on a full moon, and it's not a full moon when the feast is about. Sadly,
isn't it?
no.
How do you know that?
She said so.
Oh,
You asked her.
Yeah, she said so when we captured her, that she was planning to sneak
Yeah,
into
yeah,
the
but
feast to see what's up, but
The
sadly
feast
there wasn't.
isn't at a full moon.
Yes,
That-
that's what she said.
Oh.
So she couldn't sneak in.
Well. Oh well, I suppose we tried. We'll be ready for whoever they sent.
well, the gold wheel.
I mean, they're gonna send it after the party, so we can go to the party first and see what's up, and then decide if we're gonna keep resisting.
But I mean, obviously we are.
Not
Look at this one. He didn't want to resist. He just said that he would go and search for this temple. The gold was like, no, you should not find that. And then the day later, he's like, no, actually, take these potions. They will help you. And then he killed him with these worms.
I don't know, did he? I don't know. I mean, they were magical. We don't know what spell it was. It was divine. Does the dragon have divine magic?
Are they still alive, the worms?
The worms are still somewhat alive.
We need to know
Well,
what spell it was.
These worms are not supposed to be here. to
Could
begin
both
with.
Rachax and Tyraxus roll me a knowledge religion, please?
Sure.
Does this particularly pertain to dragons?
No.
No. Exactly the same.
Well, thinking about the worms, both Tyraxus and Rachax remember one instance where a similar topic has come up regarding a certain old woman in Apkin.
She knows.
Hey,
What?
sheep.
Who?
Can I ask
The
real
witch
quick?
in Apkin that I have enslaved with promises of sacrifice and power.
What witch? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was
She
something about-
worships the Ravager, the Worm of Time. She worships.
Sheep.
Yeah?
There's something I want to ask the book.
Sure.
Is there a topic about feeling weird or sick?
The
Oh,
book
we heard
has
the latest
no
news.
topic about that.
Well, I just thought that maybe he had made a topic say, "Oh, I'm feeling a little weird today."
Check
want
check
to
for
hear
topic.
the
Check for topic.
secret
I am dying.
personal chapter.
Or maybe that drank a potion today.
If you read this, I am dead.
Yeah, exactly. That's the topic I'm looking for. Oh, I am dying. It is time to.
Is there an entry about potion, drinking a potion?
There's no topic about drinking a potion.
Is there a section about the Midsummer Festival?
There is no specific topic about the Midsummer Festival.
Hmm.
I mean, he didn't join because he liked the cause. He joined because there was free food, as it turns out.
Mm-hmm.
As good as cause as any.
Topic free food.
It is worth mentioning that the last entry you listened to was on the 1st of Fairest.
Which data sheep?
If you
There's
look on the
like-
calendar
it's
to the north,
10 days ago.
10 days ago.
It was when we went
I-
to Bee Stranglers.
Don't think
And something has eaten his bones clean in that time.
would Ironbox know if simple worms and vultures would able to strip that large dragon to the bone. in
Not
10
not in,
days?
not in 10 days. That would take significantly longer.
So definitely something wrong here.
It's magic.
So some sort of curse hit the dragon.
You know, maybe this isn't them saying, "Oh, it's the Asian dragons," but maybe it's not.
Maybe it's a false flag. Trying to power in this one.
DragonCultureWars.com/false flag. That's a new site.
It's
That's a
just
new
that
site where Kags is going to open up, where he's going to write down his conspiracy theories.
Just ask questions.
Yeah, exactly. It's the.
It's just weird if
Are you
they
afraid she wrecks us?
It's the Bilderberger Dragon Group. It's the Illumi Dragon. They're behind all of it.
It's just weird that
Big dragon.
if
Big
they're like,
dragon.
"Oh, we need to gather forces," but then
Big
suddenly
dog.
they send this guy away, and
No, he went himself. He said,
Well,
"I'm not."
I'm gonna go find this and find out that your dad was just as much of a failure as you are. And Dragon was like, I'm not a failure. I will kill you for that insult.
I don't think that's
Then
exactly
he's
how
like-
it was.
He's like, no, actually, I'm gonna be friendly. Here,
I
take
don't
have a
think.
good trip.
I don't think that was exactly how it went down. I don't
That's
remember
what he
the.
said, though.
I don't remember the evil laughter and the. and the like. Yes, I shall help you.
How did you imagine the dragon saying, "Screw you! Don't find out my dad was a failure. Never ever go to that
No,
temple."
I don't think he said that either.
That's
no,
interesting.
but the thing is, the last thing he was in contact with before he left was apparently that dragon.
Yes, but we don't know what he was in contact with after he left. I'm saying curses can be placed on creatures from very far away, or something might have actually attacked him in that place. It was divine
But-
magic.
But nothing seemed on his corpse that could tell that he was attacked.
No, but with spells, the spells don't break bones usually. If it's a curse, I mean, it'll curse you, and you will waddle away, or like a flame strike or anything could do a
So
lot
what's
of damage.
this
to
worm
a
of
dragon.
time?
It's a demon lord.
Oh, would he be in cahoots with Gold Dragon?
Unlikely. He's in cahoots with the witch in the village.
Oh. Oh.
Oh. Maybe we should find the brine dragon and ask him. What do you think, Malachi?
You could.
He probably knows
I
a
will
lot,
stay in
right?
this land and
Yeah, you don't want to.
try to deal with these problems that are right here.
Is there an entry of like worms or like the demon lord?
There is no entry about the Demon Lord or worms. For Moon Clan, there is, however, an entry. As much as I dislike the exploitation of the human population of this area, it may very well be necessary. Dragonkind has done much to shield the humanoids of this world from much danger. It will not break them if we ask for their aid in return. Or, I suppose, forcefully take all their possessions. A chromatic spin on the whole thing. The wealth is needed to convince both metallics and chromatics to consider Orastrix's warnings. It is a shame that even the metallics' greed is so strong these days. But if bribing them is what it takes to get them to defend themselves, then so be it, I suppose. I wish there was another way, of course. Sunda suggested letting Versekarak have his way with Corvosa and the rest of Verisia, but it would attract too much negative attention. In an ideal world, obtaining riches to bribe the dragons to not be dumb would not be necessary. As sad as it is for the humans here on the plateau, they matter little in the grand scheme of things. They should at least know that they are contributing to the greater good.
See, this Gold Dragon sounds like his arguments are even like. That's not a Gold Dragon talking right there.
Unless it's true.
Let's kill the humans for the greater good.
Unless there is an actual doom invasion coming.
But wouldn't they rather want to stick to their principles and lose rather than to
No.
turn to the evil they are?
What?
They
No.
fight and
No, have you ever... No. These dragons will do anything necessary to protect things. That's what dragons do. That's why people are like, oh god, dragons help! Because a silver dragon can be like, yes, we must kill everyone. We have fought silver dragons before, I remember. It's like we're gonna put babies on spikes up on this mountain if you don't show up. And she's like, no, I'm not showing up. They're definitely very snobby dragons.
Well, I'm not going to that meeting.
Well,
You can go. I will not.
I will go.
Just don't tell them about me, okay?
Sure.
It could be fun. Why didn't I come along?
Sure. There's a lot of white there. I guess we could also fly down and talk to the witch. What she knows about curse like this is a bit far. The demon lord was Yehidothrus, the Ravager Worm and the Lord of Time.
Well, if this coward dragon thought that there was something in this temple that would reveal the truth about the gold dragon's father, that the gold dragon did not want us to know, we would want to know, yes?
Yes.
I want to
Maybe
find
the
out what
gold
it
dragon
is.
has a secret that it inherited from its father that would be very sad for it if people knew.
I think it is worth a look. Definitely think it's worth a look. So if we can sway the general to our side, we can go and look for the temple in the weeks we have left.
Let's go back to the Keeper of the Scrolls for now. We still have the general to recruit.
Malone is asking which witch. I'm pretty sure that was only a downtime thing.
Yes, it is the witch that lives in Amken that I discovered. And that I basically put under my control by promising one, to keep her secret that she is worshipping the Demon Lord of Time, and to provide some sacrifice to bolster her power. In return, she's helping me controlling the village, and can supply us with spellcrafting and potions if needed. As that I control Apkin. All of the major players are either in my pocket or disgraced.
We have the forces of Apkin to add to our power.
Yes. Which is pretty decent, actually. They're actually pretty good fighters.
Do you think
For the village.
that witch would know about these worms? It'd be interesting if she did.
She worships a demon worm, so she might. If it's foul magic involving worms and also divine, then she might know something.
Perhaps. It's worth a try.
Well, that would mean that we would need to fly down from the Cinderlands down below and visit Amkin.
I don't think all of us said we need to go. We could take a few days when we're gathered the tribe to. I'm sure we all have things we need to do. In one way or another. And you're going down to check on your people would make sense, I think. Maybe someone to the kobolds, that sort of thing.
Yep, see if the murder plan has killed them all.
Yes, if it has, we should bring it back up.
Yeah.
Well, I suggest we fly back.
Alright, sure.
You may keep consulting the book after the session by sending me messages if you want to.
Look for
Can I
chromatic
send you a link
psychology.
to the British dictionary.
Yes, I would like a PDF of all of the chromatic psychology.
Chromatic psychology, please. What deep insights?
Am I going to
Oh, we
take
just
professional
all bet
psychologist
on
on
The deepest insight you get on the topic from this particular book is that the author of this book was most definitely an expert, according to himself.
Yes. Do we agree with his assessments of chromatic
He
psychology?
does not share any of his assessments.
Oh no!
He just says he is an expert.
Well,
As an
That's-
expert,
that
I've
sounds.
determined that this dragon is completely fucking mad.
The best joke. That's what we search for.
My test determined that the marriage between the green and the blue produces that of a yellow mind.
The book
That's
must
it.
burn.
Yeah, we will burn that book.
That book
Swear
burns.
I have yet to find people who are willing to attempt my experiments, but I'm sure of great success.
No.
The
Nudge,
tiny
nudge,
wormlings
nudge,
I
nudge.
heard about are probably open-minded. Not
Nudge.
something great.
Find
And
them.
I must find them.
Besides, Sunta has said that I can force my will on any dragons I find.
Nudge.
That's great.
Nudge.
Sounds like a
Santa has
fair
ordered me
me.
to produce yellow dragons. Must forcefully.
There's no such thing as yellow dragons.
I know, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the Andra. Let your imagination run wild.
There's no such thing as yellow dragons.
Let's fly over here.
Baka.
Baka.
Flying, lightly brushing, looking that way like,
Nudge. Knock your giant box.
You arrive at
Dynamax looks tired.
the Cave
Tulaxis
of
looks
Scrolls
also very tired.
in the morning. And
Yes.
you find it essentially as you've left it.
Fly into the village like bickering about. about
I only moved Avonix because I don't know why, but you can move yourself.
yeah, we land with like drama and fanfare, you know, wings buffeting, thunderous crash as we land, sparks flying everywhere from the claws. We make an
Sorting.
entrance.
You are certainly greeted as you've been greeted before, with gestures of respect, nods. Some raise their weapons towards you, not against you, but rather towards you, in a sign of well, what's the word? Community, maybe? But they are standing behind you in whatever fight you choose, or have chosen. The remains of the bronze dragon are still kind of decaying in the middle of the camp. The smell doesn't seem to bother them, and the smell is quite noticeable in the heat.
Whatever
Ew.
pleases them.
If anything, the smell makes them confident that these creatures can, in fact, be destroyed.
The copper ones, that is. I mean, you know, no proof that a blind one can die.
Do you just poof back to your plane?
No. Well, maybe. Probably not.
No, I'm just curious.
No, it's fine. Fine.
How often
I
do
mean,
you
you
get to
can.
ask that question?
I mean, you could try to like suffocate him in his sleep, and we'll see. I
No,
suppose.
I'm just asking. I didn't, I just.
It's like, if I kill you, do you?
Do you
like,
really die?
you're like, I
That
could
is
kill.
relatively creepy.
None of you are real. I could kill all of you, and it wouldn't matter.
Well, he's not native
And
to
did you
this
have those
land.
glasses? I mean, they weren't even cursed anything.
He might not be native, but it's unlikely that he is summoned.
Yeah. Unless I would have.
So, how did he become? How did you get your parents? How did they get here?
You know, I have not had time to ask, really. It was very hurried affair. Regardless.
It doesn't last. I see. Oh,
It never does.
have you been reading those books again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chromatic psychology.
No green
Does that give
dragons.
us a bonus on sense motive check against chromatics?
Green dragons.
It would give you a penalty.
Oh,
The whole green dragon affair is painful. It's just, ugh.
yeah. It's so
Can you
much
just-
pressure and like.
Can't you move out now? Dude, we already have kids. Can't you just move out now? Take the kids with you?
Put all your like notions and expectations on me is really annoying.
Yeah. It is said that even doing, the dance with no pants, even that is terrible with green dragons. They're like, ugh, you're so
I mean-
gross.
The things Einavox shares in these idle moments.
Don't listen to Vandra.
Alvendra is blushing like, oh my.
It really is best if you just ignore her.
She does use medical terms. Though. Quite
Turax is like leers over at the bullocks. I wonder if the white ones, freeze together.
What was that?
No, nothing. It's just
Nod,
looks
nod,
up.
nod, nod.
No.
What was that, Tyracus?
No, I mean just if
Lifts a claw glowing with icy blue energy.
you know what happens if you like lick a sword when it's cold, you stick to it.
I'm
So
gonna
just,
leave.
just thinking that maybe.
We need
you
to
know,
stay on
it's,
medical terms here.
Okay.
This is not a conversation that Thunder Moonhead thinks he needs to be part of.
Like, I better leave.
I can give you a demonstration of
He
what
doesn't
that
even understand Draconic, but he still moves away.
I'm uncomfortable.
Onyx looks to the statue with the freezing cold longsword.
we have gathered what remains of the like cinder riders,
The
flame
Flametails.
tails, to our course. Many of them have been lulled into the lowlands by some inquisitor. We killed him before we brought them.
Flametails gathered and the Inquisitor vanquished. Those are good news indeed.
Yeah, show him the skull.
We expect to go rally the general to our cause now. Any ideas for approaching him?
He will be difficult to convince. He is not one for honeyed words and and promises. He is known. Well, he would like to be known for accepting facts and facts only.
So if the fact that we would be inclined to break every bone in his body, would that persuade him?
He is as proud as the proudest man in this entire clan. If you promised him violence, then perhaps even if he broke, he would not get the support that we need from him. He needs to join willingly.
And if he to die, would his forces just scatter?
If he were to die, then his meager forces would be... Sure, they would be forces, but we'd have none of his caliber. He is not known as the general because he would like to be known as that. He is known as the Lowlander word for war leader because he is one of the best. What we need is him, not his people.
Would he like to hear that?
Perhaps.
But if he likes the facts, well, we have them here, don't we? The clan is almost brought back. I'm sure many of the people in the mountains. Have you seen any of them recently?
There have been indeed some newcomers who are saying that they were out patrolling the desert, but we all know that they just don't want to admit that they gave up. Some have returned, although not as many as I'd hoped.
Well,
Still, to convince the general, you will need to convince him that the now less scattered but still remains of the Moon Clan, as well as 4 young dragons, such as you are enough to defeat the entire force of the combined Sun Clan, as well as whatever Sunta still has under her control.
If he's smart enough that we might need him, he might figure out a way to do it. So there's a challenge for him.
If he had already figured out a way, even with the entire Moon Clan combined, then he would have done something.
You are not selling this prospective recruitment very well, Moon Knight. If he's impossible to convince, then it's just wasted time, is it not? Wouldn't it be easier to just kill him and be done with it?
Moonlight sighs. He really is good at what he does, however, you as well as I know that our situation, while better, is not nearly as good as it needs to be.
And his situation is even worse.
Yes. However, the fact that he has not yet simply fled or perhaps even joined the Sun Clan does mean that he at least hopes that there is a way to still win.
And if we're lucky, he might have the conditions we might need to meet in order to win. If he's a man of facts, opposing him might simply go and him saying, well, we still need to do this, this, and this, which would be then something we could accomplish. Correction answers, yes, we can certainly approach him. It is unlikely that we'll do harm to our chances of bringing him in, and if he still will not go, we still have the prospect of seeking the other clans for their aid in the coalition, the Spire clan, for example, or the Skull clan.
The Skull clan would potentially be the most useful, however, also the hardest one to contact. Still, they are already somewhat engaged with Sunda and therefore could already be considered our allies in a way.
Yes, we can't coordinate with them at the moment, but they certainly are fighting her already, while we are doing very little of that at the moment. We're rallying our forces. Be good to come to help them before they are decimated. If such can happen easily. They are an entire clan as well. And the sons are only one.
Only one clan they might be, but they have always been one of the biggest.
Mm-hmm. The Spire clan, what's the chances of asking them for help?
I don't want to say slim, because I do sound rather pessimistic today, I think. However, I wouldn't know what they would require in order to help us. They presumably still think that they are observers and nothing else. They have, as of yet, no reason to join us.
Well, I think we should go talk to them still. If nothing else, seeing dragons get involved might convince them that there's something to the talk.
Also, while you're here, I do think that Kadok wanted to talk to you again.
Right. Sure. Let's see the excitable blacksmith.
Sure.
Do.
He is indeed in the tent next door, scribbling on a number of papers. Something rather out of the ordinary, as paper of this quality that he is currently using is not exactly common here. And you can see the sketches of many. A artificial claw is probably the best description, as well as teeth and other things, sharp things that you have, although these do seem to be made from metals. And as he spots you, he does run out with his arms spread, smiling broadly, and says, "Oh, you're back. This is... I have not yet made something you can try out, however. Let me show you that I have great plans." And he will essentially give you the details, which I'll do from a metagame perspective, because that is far more important. What he is perhaps able to produce, if given the correct materials for it, are essentially manufactured weapons that work as your natural weapons. In essence, that means that you could get one of those and enchant it without having to require an amulet of mighty fists.
That's certainly very useful.
It would essentially allow you to get an enchant only on your claws, which would be far cheaper than the amulet. Or only on your bite. Or only on your wings, even. As he
Claw or claw?
Armor me from head to toe.
He also has designs for barding, indeed. It would still require the proficiency for it. However, it would negate your the armor penalty, the racial armor penalty that you have. He also thinks that he could make one work for Rechaex that works with his strange disability.
Wow.
That would be great. Make it unbreakable.
It's made it of star steel, my lord. It's like, oh, well.
I invest myself in star steel. Great.
Mhm.
He does not mention star steel, but he does mention moon metal.
There you go.
You know, I'll take it.
I have a question.
Yeah?
Einavax wouldn't be able to use the ones for teeth because she uses her venom, sorry.
It would still work. It would essentially look like somewhat of a mask with the teeth being outside. Your poison would still work.
Oh, interesting.
I like this, again, this Mad Maxian dragon get up and getting like claws and skulls and things.
Enchanting the claws would count as 2 weapons.
So what do they do if we don't pay for enchantments?
They would do very little. They would count as masterwork. Giving you the
But
plus
they
one.
also count as weapons, right?
They would count as weapons.
Because that's the important part to me. Because I have a lot of spells that only work on weapons.
They would indeed count for those.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of would want him. Because I can't do the natural attack thing, but I can do greater weapon, magical weapon, stuff like that. So what does he need to make them work for me?
He, first of all, needs a little bit more time.
Same for armor, actually. If you can make it work, then I'm into it. Generally, it's a good thing. I know how to use it. I have done it in the past. It just breaks and like it encumbers me so terribly.
He needs a bit more time. The barding would cost 50% more than usual.
Okay.
And
Which is already like 4 times.
yes,
The
Yeah.
the metal we just came with, we just came with a lot of weapons. Can't we compensate for that? Can you use that?
We would want to sell those.
he does look at the mithril barding and the chain shirt and say, "Yeah, you already have some moon metal. That's great. He could use that."
All right. Mithril then. Sure. But let him continue. But I'm very interested if you can make it not break. That would be wonderful.
He thinks that give him enough time, he can make anything for you.
He's the kind of guy we like. You're a good
Yes.
man. You're good
Yes.
people.
Yes, very good. Anything you need, tell us and we'll try to provide.
We could be a dragon patrons.
Yes, indeed. Patron of the arts. Yes. Yes, I like that sound.
Remember those kobolds we met who had like all these cool things? We'll be that, but to dragons. Yeah. The dragons look at us and say, "Look at those dragons. They know how to
They know how to party.
dress themselves."
If only your tails were a little bit bigger, he'd have some ideas too.
Hey, buddy.
I have a feeling it's not going to be that long.
Hey, buddy.
I mean, I know.
What did you say about my tail?
Masterwork claws would cost 400 gold pieces apiece. The same goes for wings and the bite.
Basically 100 gold for each improvement and then 300 for masterwork weapon.
Yes.
So you're telling me that I could dress myself in metal for like 500 gold?
You mean for the barding?
No, just like the for all my natural attacks without them being masterwork.
They do need to be masterwork.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And enchantment would be on a per attack basis.
Yeah.
Thing,
basically.
basics, yeah.
It would be more expensive to enchant 5 of these improvements than the Amulet of Mighty Fists. However, if you do fewer enchants, it would be cheaper, since it would.
So if I
cost
have
as
an
much as a
Amulet of
normal
Mighty
weapon.
Fist +1 and get one of these that are masterworked, then the Amulet of Mighty Fist does not work for that weapon.
Yes, it would not work.
Okay. So it's either or, basically.
Yes.
Well, I've got to buy stuff, so I have money for it.
We'll think about it, but he needs more time to research anyway.
Yes, and he needs to build a proper smithy, because what they have here is atrocious, in his words.
We need a sky forge, you know.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Crash spaceship or something.
Yes, of course.
Maybe not that far. Well, regardless, sounds like he's got the hang of it. Sounds like
Yep.
we should approach a general, and then
I suppose we should.
so we'll sleep, and then the next day we can go to the general.
Okay.
Cast all of your charisma increasing
Next
spells
night.
before we go in.
I don't have any. It turns out.
You don't have
I
that
also have a headband already. so.
diplomacy's
that. Enhanced diplomacy is a cantrip, so
yeah.
why not?
Snap your claws.
Lasts like some minutes until it's discharged. It'll use guidance or whatever. I don't have that actually. Virtue to get 1 temporary hit point for a minute. Because why not?
Give me a moment.
Oh,
Should have done this before the session, but I didn't, so... Okay. But now Jonas is AFK. It would then be the 12th of Farest.
let's see. We're still waiting for the. Is the marker that shows when the festival's happening gone?
I didn't make one. I can make one. Be right here. Summer Festival. Still have little over 3 months.
Here it is. Good.
I was just waiting on Jonas to return. Don't panic, chat. The sound didn't cut out.
Well, I'm back. Yep.
What?
Yeah,
I don't know. Everyone went silent.
I don't know.
And DDS and Monica are chatting.
I don't know what's up.
They could be talking.
So we go to the general.
Yes.
Let's see. It does take the entire day, essentially, to get there. Or night, if you want to travel at night.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Which means you do arrive in the morning, when the sun is already peeking over the horizon. The camp is certainly busy, however none of these seem to actively want to shoot you right away.
Well, that's good. Maybe they've heard the news.
Well, I guess we do like we usually do. Slow circles coming down and then plopping down very impressively. Chest out, wings flared, you know. Majestic, really.
They do take a few steps back as you land, but one of the Shanti does shout in Shanti to one of the other Shanti that he should do something, which he does.
He
And after
soils
just-
himself. Oh, again.
He did not do that, but after a few moments, a not exactly an impressive figure emerges from the tent, but he certainly carries
Oh
himself.
no! We're so fucked!
What?
It's just
That's
image.
that's like one of the most famous images in computer role-playing games.
I didn't know.
That's
It's-
Minsk.
Oh, I used Minsk. Alright. Oh, now I have to
I
use a
like
different
him
token
already.
picture.
Go for
You're
the
terrible.
eyes, boo!
I'm going to use a
fine.
different picture.
Oh.
I liked him.
No, that's terrible. That's no.
It is basically like using Gandalf.
I didn't know.
It's fine, sheep. It's fine.
No, I'm using a different picture now because that's terrible.
Man, I would
It'll
sort of have respect for that guy, though.
I have plans! You're like, oh, sure you do, Minsk.
You will kick Sunda's butt.
Butt kicking, for goodness! Make way, villainy! Hero coming through!
don't have another good token. But I can't use Minsk. That's terrible.
Can if you do the accent.
No. You know, let's use this one. It fits the character, even though you might recognize him as well. There we go.
Yes. Mm. Oh no.
No, not him.
That's even
Go
worse. It's even worse.
Oh,
Okay,
you
what-
people are derailing my campaign. This is terrible. Yeah.
So you need some kind of fighter, is that it?
He's
No,
got.
I'm done. I'm done.
What's wrong with... You can use that.
I can't use this.
Why not?
He's like, as Jonas said, yes.
He's the
But I
he's,
think that's the general. He's like super haughty,
he's,
though.
he's the first Shawandi who waxes his moustache.
That's yeah. What emerges from the tent is not exactly
What
an.
about him?
Should I? Should please let me just do the thing here.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Unless we want to stop early.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm trying to describe the figure currently emerging from the tent,
Please do.
who is not very impressive considering the muscle-bound, well, brutes you've seen emerge before, but rather carrying himself with an air of extreme confidence and perhaps some arrogance as well. The other Shanti do seem to respect him, at least. And what is also rather unusual is that he's not exactly dressed like the other Shanti. Sure, he's wearing the same kind of functional clothing, but his style seems to be very much inspired by the nobles down on the lowland, something that Torexes would know a lot about. There are a lot of unnecessary things in his clothing that may or may not are supposed to be fashionable, and he certainly seems to appreciate his differences. As he does approach you with a confident step, looking at each of you, and says, I see that you finally decided to come here as well. I've heard much about you. Perhaps you have heard some things about me as well. I am Chieftain Farnek. Most, however, would call me the General. He bows.
Well, Chieftain Farnek. If you have heard about us, then I suppose suppose a man of your intellect would also have figured out why we are here.
Of course, you want to recruit me into your battle with Sunta.
We want to help you fight your battle with Sunta. Or, if you prefer, our battle with Sunta. It is, after all, involving all of us.
We have brother committed at this point, killing a few of her servants, as I'm sure you know.
And the Inquisitor.
Him too, as well.
Brought the Aurochs back.
That too, givenly.
Destroyed the Sun Clan camp. Rescued councilmen.
I mean, that was rather easy.
Blacksmith.
Regardless.
You've certainly done much in this battle, I suppose, and yes, I think it would be a fair compromise to call it our fight. Although, of course, with our, I mean the Moon Clan and you. As of this moment, anyways. I am not yet convinced, to be quite honest.
We expected as much. However, well, it is worth considering your current position is not in a much great, place to use your, as it has been called a few times, genius of battle strategics to any real advantage. I'm sure a mind such as your own would be itching to see what it could come up with of a plan, now that units such as ourselves are available.
He smiles. You would consider yourself units now, would you? Now, that is an interesting thought. However, I am not much one for sugarcoating things. I am still very much aware that you intend to face Sunta, who has creatures of your kind, but much bigger, and contrary to what some say, size does matter. And then she, of course, has the Sun Clan, who is far more numerous and pretty convinced to apparently serve Sunta until Sunta decides that they are no longer useful. While what you have is perhaps not a splintered Moon Clan anymore, but far from its former glory, at least. Sorry?
The Sun Clan is not of its former glory as well. They fought the Moon Clan, now they are fighting the Skull Clan. They will be taking losses all the while.
And if you want to restore some of that former glory to the Moon Clan, then help us. We've already brought together most of the splinter groups. Yours is the last. If you side with us, the Moon Clan will be very powerful and in a completely other position to oppose Sunta than it has been before.
The troops are there, but they lack a general.
So you've recovered the Flame Tails as well, then, I take it. How many of their number did you recover?
A half, about. The rest the Inquisitor had carted off to Camarga before we killed them.
So, of the best troops the Moon Clan has to offer of Flame Tails, you have brought half, which I suppose is a start. But now tell me how horses are supposed to fight creatures such as you. How are our archers supposed to fire at something 200 feet in the air with arrows that don't pierce their scales anyways? How are spears to do anything against the Big Red, who you've undoubtedly at least heard about?
So, you ask me this, but I doubt that you have not thought about it for quite a long time.
I have, admittedly.
And you have come to no possible solutions?
I have come to solutions, certainly possible. Now that's a whole other story. I think with 3 things, maybe 4 if you consider a miracle a thing, this war could be one. I will order them in order of possibility, or rather lack of impossibility. 1. The Moon Clan would have to find some sort of arrow that actually manages to pierce the hide of dragons. Something made from metals that even the lowlanders would be rather jealous of. And perhaps not just arrows, but far larger ones, siege weapons. Yes, mithril bolts on siege weapons. That would be step 1. Step 2, slightly more difficult. Get all the Flametail's horses and give them wings.
Yeah.
Well, investing in a wing of flying for each horse might be a bit pricey.
They wouldn't have to be permanent wings.
A mass fly spell on the horse.
That would be the cheaper option.
And 3, because those 2 things would let us fight at even terms, but we definitely need an advantage since we are lacking numbers. Number 3 would be the miracle, one of the miracles that would perhaps change this war for the better. You see, the Big Red is one who disregards the desert, the Badlands. The heat does not concern him. He swims in the amber storms as if they were just a warm breeze. And he flies above, raining down fiery death and such. There are many a story that would put that much more flowery than I could. He needs to be grounded. He needs to be fought where we are in control. At least more in control than in the skies. What we need is a storm, and a big one at that. But not a storm of cinders and embers, no, but a storm made from things that barely even have words in the Shuanti language. We need ice and sleet, something that will be too cold for him to be comfortable in, something to ground him, to keep him there, to restrict his vision, his movement.
Yes, well, we might have something in that regard up our sleeve.
He blinks.
Wouldn't you say?
These don't
Volix?
seem... Neither of these seem really impossible, to be honest. Depends on how many mithril ballistic bolts we would need.
Well, the more the better, although I would think at least 5 ballistae with 50 bolts each. It would be quite the sum, although, as you say, not impossible. Especially with the remains of the start of the tribute that some of the Moon Clan has collected. It might even be possible to purchase all of them at once. However, people would have to be trained to operate the ballistae. The bolts would have to be made, transported here, and not get stolen by orcs. The easiest task, yes. Now, how about number 2 and 3? You didn't really seem to blink at them.
Well, for number 3, we might have something to help us along that line. What do you think, Volix, Einavox? You have been the closest to that solution, I feel.
We will speak to him, certainly. We are dragons. We have many connections to beings that are, well, even more powerful than we. Deals can be made that could affect the weather in even this place.
And certain kinds of weather are more certain kinds of dragon specialties, you understand?
You're showing too much of our hand there, Manica. I should say we have amazing powers.
Now, well, that would sound too easy. About the flight of horses, well, there are 2 ways in which this could be done. Either by magic. Such magic could be wrought, if in short time frames. And the other, I suppose, would be, well, a bit more time consuming, but we have seen that the beast wranglers have successfully communed or spoken to a Vyvern. If such beasts could be spoken to on a larger scale, then they could perhaps be brought in as additional mounts for these battles. Aerial cavalry, so to speak. I'm sure they will be as strong as a horse.
Yes. The blacksmith, master blacksmith, can certainly work the moon metal or the mithril. The beast wranglers could try to strike a deal with the
Vyvern.
with the Vyvern clans, and we have contacts that are powerful enough to affect the weather. Together, this might be indeed all of the things needed for a victory. All that would be left would be, of course, your leadership on the battlefield.
Isn't it better to give these options a try, rather than to sit here and forever wonder if it could have been possible?
Don't you want to match your wits against Sunta and her dragons and come out winning? Imagine. Such a feather in the cap.
If not to speak the survival of the Moon Clan's way of life.
And think of the credit and the glory and the adoration you would get from such a feat.
Saving a number of lives and making this land still be inhabited by people who care for the spirit of it, not just some who leave to slave other places' service.
Winning, you say?
Winning.
Although,
We don't
as to
fight
say,
lose.
magic for the horses would be too short term. The fighting would take more than minutes, more than even hours, and just having them sit there without the ability to practice flying especially would be difficult. And wyverns, we have mere 3 months. 3 months is not enough to train a wyvern.
The orcs do it, do they not?
I am not aware of orcs riding wyverns. The Flametails train their horses for years. While they would certainly be the most appropriate to train a wyvern, however, their methods take a long time. And it's not like wyvern can just be talked to. Now that would be great.
Can't they?
I'm pretty sure they can.
Well, some people might not be able to speak to the wyverns, but we speak their language well. Convincing them is certainly a possibility.
Rather they speak ours in a crude and guttural way. But yes, communication is certainly possible. If the deal is sweet enough, I would imagine gold, food,
Prestige.
whatever else their base mines might want. Costly, yes,
They would not have to be trained if they were doing this willingly.
indeed.
An intelligent mount might be a lot stronger than none. Beyond that, if we could put beast wranglers on them, they might be able to bring these beasts to the ground.
We launch beast wranglers with catapults
Basically.
onto the dragons, like, oh!
Have them on wyverns and then,
Uh-huh. Like with
Like
nets and
bind-
chains and stuff.
like, yeah, basically. They would love that, wouldn't they?
They would love that.
In an ice storm,
Mhm.
to jump down and like crash these dragons into the ground, binding their wings up and feet and whatnot. I mean, they were good at it.
In one round, mind you.
Yeah, they were good at it.
Well, color me intrigued, to say the least. I don't think you're just making these things up, although who am
Why
I
would
to
we bother?
know? Well, perhaps you just like me that much that you would promise me the moon and the stars. But I don't think you are that kind of people.
To try to snort. Oh, don't flatter yourself too much, General. We hardly like anyone. Smirks.
Tell you what, let's meet halfway. You bring me those ballistae, at least 5, with 50 bolts each. You bring me my flying horses, whether it's the Flametails horses with wings attached or wyverns. I'm not that picky. And I'll just accept your promise that you can do the third thing as well.
We need to get in contact with Laurel for the grafting wings on the horses.
That would be expensive, though.
Yes, very expensive.
How about
Trust-
having
trust.
the horses on airships?
Yes, we call in the Imperial Air Fleet.
Yeah, you would either be going airships or Malachi, they'd be going with the strange fluids, which we know how much they cost.
How
Just
much?
Roll the dice.
How much would it cost to hire the flagship that we're building?
A lot.
Like 1 million gold, at least.
I mean, considering it's a very, very long distance as well.
I mean, we have the travel gates, so it's just
The airship doesn't fit through it.
And pop up in Cavosa. Like,
yeah, the interdimensional drive to just dimension hop it here.
regardless.
You haven't got that big
Yes.
running.
That's tomorrow we're gonna
Yeah.
That thing. I mean, all right. That seems like goals to do, right?
I suppose so. Although I am sort of a little bit wary to give them too many anti-dragon weapons, if you know what I'm saying. They might
Because
get ideas.
We don't, but we won't care at all about ballista bolts. Personally, at least. Like, that's not going to help them against me. I have no
Okay.
weakness to it.
It does no difference to me.
If you say so.
Metagame arguments.
I mean,
And
you
I
know, maybe the ballista is like enchanted dragon-bane ballista.
Like when we beat Sunta, these guys, like those Eastern dragons that come over, and these guys is gonna be like, well, more dragons is fucking wrecked. We've trained against killing dragons for like years now. Endless dragon war. Maybe this is what the gold dragon wants.
Maybe.
Wants them to rise to the occasion.
And once when the dragons come, they can actually do it. Maybe.
That seems more like a gold dragon kind of thing to do.
I guess.
Let's go with it.
Manipulating this son of a bitch.
Like, I just taught them to do it themselves.
Oh,
And got a lot of chromatic skill. Sorry.
my wisdom is boundless.
Now I will go back to my cage, sleep for a million years.
Oh, bring me gold, though. Don't stop with that.
Just put it over. Don't take any.
No, I would know if you're taking any.
I can smell it.
Yep.
All right. Well, you know, that seems like a start, certainly. If you would, though, I'm sure your men has training in using these ballistae.
These Shanti have never had ballistae. I know how to work
Starting
them.
now
I
would
could
be a good idea.
probably train them, although I'd need them first.
Well, I have 3 months. So, I want to get to it. Regardless, it will be easier to bring them if you go join the others at the you know, hidden valley. There will be easier to bring than out here in the middle of the desert. They will come from the lowlands, most likely.
Most likely, yes.
He nods, looking almost speechless.
For the first time in his life.
We are kind of mind-blowing here.
Yes, we are.
Not only are we dragons, we're also promising to him what seems to be like impossibilities.
Yeah, we're promising flying
in
horses,
space.
like ice storms in the Cinderlands.
And a tremendous wealth.
You know, me and Einar would be quite happy with the ice storm.
We just, you know, we go to the Iron Bank of Bravos and we borrow the money, and in their name,
We need a lot of it.
in their name, just we tell Moon,
Sunta would like to borrow.
we take Moonhide. There's a sign here, please. Says okay. He signs. Good.
That brawler you got, that's a good use for him.
Yes. I don't think the Iron Bank would actually lend him money though. No.
Regardless, now we have our work cut out for us.
We do, yes.
You go there. We'll go back and ask them to use all their tribute money to buy ballistae. I'm
Yes.
sure they'll be thrilled.
Yes.
I'm sure they'll be thrilled.
We can probably bring a few siege engineers here from Karmaga to can set it up.
Yeah, I mean, if they have money to buy 15 times 50 mithril ballista bolts, they have money enough to hire a siege engineer to, like, look it over.
Yeah, like Master Bronzebeard or something, you know, some surly dwarf that's like, I'll fix it.
I've been doing this for 2 human generations.
200 years I've been doing this. Don't you tell me, boy.
Dragon, eh?
Yes, he has a huge, well, it's a huge pipes that he smokes constantly.
Quite the sight. We should send our forest guy friend out to do it.
Our forest guy, Vincent.
Yeah, Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there before.
He has, yes.
He's been there before.
We need to somehow strike a deal with the wyverns.
That mythic one, that's the key.
Yeah, he
Getting
respects
him
us.
Yeah,
He respects us. We beat him.
yeah. I mean, you know.
He's probably like king of the wyverns.
And he was
or
pretty
something, right?
hardcore.
He was.
Yeah, I mean,
he was
You
pretty.
know, we go there and we find out he has like a whole family. I mean, you know, I think
Flametail's
it's probably
riding
pretty
him.
unique.
They ride in on an army of mythic.
Mythic 200 mythic wyverns. Oh God! Oh, Oh no.
You should join us sometime.
Just like,
You have
uh-oh.
no chance. Well, we can probably find and talk to him.
And then we need
Ask him to keep on tabs. So.
And then we need to strike the most dreaded of deals with the white druid ghost dragon, which I think is entirely our Voluntus
Why do you
area.
think he's a ghost?
I don't know, but it's a lot of power.
I saw him eat.
Hmm.
I still would like to talk to the Spire clan at some point, but we'll see.
200 mythic pyrohydra.
How do we get them up there, though? We need to catapult
With
them
wings
up.
of flying.
Wings are flying on each of the heads.
Like undead craft, like communal airwalk.
Communal airwalk on these top 200 pyrohydras. Charge up into the sky like
Ouch!
pounce up.
They're
Oh,
very slow move speed.
yeah, they're not that fast.
Or,
Not
chat
that
things, take your 200 mythic pyrohydra and put it up riding 200 mythic
How
white.
they're mythic? Okay.
Mythic pyrohydras.
Right. Sure.
This is chat's idea. Have them riding the white.
Winged construct armor.
I mean, at that point, we might as well call in the inevitable, or the just
machine gods.
yeah, the machine god.
Reckon. Let's just summon Tiamat.
Or like we
And
again
bind her.
we call in the inheritor. He'll teach Santa a thing or two.
Weber King is suggesting to make the pyrohydras fly by using lots and lots of balloons.
That seems not to work very well because of all the pyro.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we'd have to isolate like helium or something.
Wait, they'd be their own hot air balloon.
But how do
air
we?
balloon.
They can warm it up themselves.
Like,
That'd be
I
a very
suppose.
smart
if you have a big
pyrohydra.
enough balloon,
Very smart pyrohydra to know
well,
that.
you just have like a guy pissing him off up in the balloon sometime.
But
treat
the
them there.
pyrohydra needs to breathe the hot stuff into the balloon and like keep one head around so you can see where it's going and like steer this balloon.
No, some other guy steers it.
Oh,
A
okay.
big basket of pyrohydras. And then
Who
we go
else are you
up.
gonna put up there with the pyrohydra to steer the balloon? Who's gonna be that crazy? Well, I guess the Beast Wranglers. I
Yeah,
guess the Beast Wranglers.
all the pyrohydras are bound within a minute.
That's right.
No,
One in
Maybe
one
they
move.
have more Byrons Byrons than we know.
I mean, who knows? But now we certainly have goals cut out for us. And he'll go there and be like, "Yes, they promised me all this shit, man. What the fuck? What's up?" There people like, well, I mean, if they say they can do it at this point, we
Well,
can't.
let's return to Moonseer, Moondoor.
And be like, so
face
you like order. He wants
Wrong.
Balliste. How about
Moon-
Balliste? We need
Yeah,
Balliste.
Moonman. Let's return to Moonman and I completely forgot what his name is now. I'm so tired.
Moonhide!
Moonhide, Moonbark.
Hide of the Moon Clan.
His token is right there!
I'm
He's
not
like,
okay.
Moonhide.
All right, Moonhide. Let's go to
Moonhide.
yes, Cowhide and Moohide, cow, Cowhide, and give the instructions. Listen to me, Smith.
So, I mean, the next day,
She must have such saddle. She must be so saddle
she's
sore.
gotten used to it.
Yeah, she has huge soldier burn on the inside of her thighs.
She's used to it at this point.
Huge calluses.
Sunburn, soldier burn.
It's like
No,
burns
we
all
fly
over the
at
place.
night.
calluses the size of hams, you know?
We do fly at night, so at least she won't have
So
sun.
you still exist at day, though.
Sure.
I do exist
I
that
can
day.
heal people. You know, she'll be fine. If you bleed, dear, just tell me.
She constructs a tent.
I have a 10.
She just like smacks herself on the knee with the wand, and she's fine.
You know, the fact that she has red hair means that she has a weaker immune system to the sun.
It's not red. It's like brownish.
It's red.
Red brown. I'd say that's pretty brown.
It's the copper.
No, it's brown.
Guys,
Auburn.
it's copper.
No, that's not copper.
It is.
Moonman, the leader of... yes. What glory, what bounty. Yes,
Mr. Moonhide.
Mr. Moonhide.
Well, I suppose we land in this ominous formation.
Moonhide!
Drops his like dishes. He was. Oh,
Oh God! Mercy! Mercy!
never get used to this.
I expect we don't, because we don't stand still. We sort of, at least Tyraxus has a habit to sort of coil around things when he.
No, I mean,
You know.
Rakax just lands instead of stretching his wings and like flying for a long time.
Green dragon you coil around.
Nice to stretch. Avender probably slides down from the saddle and like stretches herself as well.
And then goes to argue with old man
Counselor.
Old man Kane.
I mean, not immediately. She's supposed to hear this,
Alright, sure.
for the team.
You,
I suppose we inform him of the general's demands to see how outraged he seems.
well,
He wanted a snowstorm in the desert. He wanted a tremendous amounts of ballistae and mithril, moon metal bolts, and he wanted flying mounts.
so did you kill him?
No, we agreed to all of it, obviously.
Of course.
Yes,
We,
luckily
will
we are.
expect-
Moonhide's like, of course it is. Oh God.
We will take care of the two of them, and we thought that now your people have been gathering money for tribute and whatnot. It's better spent buying mithril bolts for ballistae. Yes.
And a siege engineer to build them.
Yeah.
Probably you can fetch those in Camarga. I know this incredibly surly dwarven engineer, but he's brilliant.
I suppose that sounds possible.
Good. They will be useful against our larger brethren once they attack. And they won't expect it. Ask the smith about the moon metal. He will be very excited.
I'm sure he would be.
Good.
Now,
We'll expect you to handle this.
You said something about a snowstorm in the Cinderlands?
Yes.
Yes, slightly.
I will not question your promises.
Have you ever experienced a cold, Moonhide?
I used to go down into the lowlands during the winters there. Or the Cinderlands are enemy to all things cold.
Well, we're about to change that.
It is said that the Cinderlands are the place where the cold died.
Yes, but something of that
It's more literal than you would think.
lingers in the earth, Moonhide. The power of dragons, the blood of dragons has seeped into the land, and we can tap into it.
I don't know why you're saying we, but
Regardless, we are
I think
working.
he
I'm
just wants more money.
I'm impressing him.
Yeah.
Well, you have 3 months to get ready. We will do the same, naturally. Gather many more. This is a spectacle that should certainly prove our dedication. And with the general and all the others behind us, perhaps many of the people who left will now see that, well, if so many brilliant minds believe in this idea, then perhaps they should too. More will trickle in, I'm sure.
Perhaps, with the general and the outsider on our side, they might be able to spread the messages required to get those hiding in the mountains back to us. While I do not quite share your optimism, it does sound like you at least believe that we can actually win here. And if that is indeed the case, then I shall believe it too.
Good. Very well, then I'm sure you have much to see to with these new revelations.
And I believe we have a few deals to strike.
Indeed. Let's go over here. discuss it. let him do his thing. I'm sure he has to go count coins and whatnot. Check out the current market for ballistae.
And talk to the smith.
He'll go onto his stone laptop and Google ballistae.com.
Stone.
Which is a spirit, of course.
The stone laptop spirit.
Great spirit. What is the current pricing of ballistae in Kamaga, and can I get them with free delivery? They probably didn't consider the Cinderlands, but you know, that's their problem.
Yeah, are you a premium member? To caremaga.amazon.cinderlands.
I get free delivery. We'll even help set it up for you.
Small ferries fly out, you know, it's like the drones.
Good news, I've won the money needed for the ballistae by being the 1 millionth visitor on this site.
No!
Moon Knight, no!
You're the 1 millionth person I have talked.
He has no sense for
Put your treasure
stone
here.
internet.
And
Yes.
I
I am a Verisian prince. Disposed of my wealth. I just need your bank account. Well, I should help him.
show me a picture of your treasure, a painting of your treasure, and I will make sure that it gets much bigger. You can trust me. I'm from Verisia.
Oh boy. Well, Wyverns, what do they want? Trinkets and food, I guess.
Oh, we'll talk to the Mythic Wyvern and be like, sup, I mean...
We kind of took your payment before, but we're here to strike a deal, so...
Well, he left, so...
He left, he did. He abandoned it. So maybe he wants to show that he's powerful and strong against the, dragons, and this is his chance to do so.
I mean, I think we're going to have to think of him as an equal. Which, I mean, that one I'm perfectly happy with. I mean, say myself equal to him.
I mean, it's kind of stupid, but yes.
It's pretty impressive, all things considered.
All things considered, he is one of a kind.
One of a kind. I'm sure that's a good first step.
Should we bring him a present?
It's a generally good idea, I think.
What does he like?
What's a Wyvern role? Is that a magical beast?
I think it is.
Wyverns, I believe they are. No, they are dragons, which...
Oh,
What?
well, that makes it fucking easier.
That is
They
filthy
are
slander.
true
They are, in
dragons.
fact, considered dragons.
They're not true dragons, but
No, they're like
Dragons?
our hillbilly cousin.
all right.
dragons.
I will roll that kind of check to see what I know about Wyverns. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sure.
Tell me everything about Wyverns.
Well, you would know that wyverns are indeed capable of speech and thought and drawing conclusions and all those things that stupid people could do. But they are most definitely not the smartest of creatures.
What
They
do
are-
they like?
They do very much like trinkets and shiny valuables. They certainly like food a lot. And they certainly just like getting things.
Are they smart enough to recognize a true valuable from something that is just shiny? Can we get baubles and glass pearls and stuff like that? And it would be like, oh, I love this stuff.
Just as you, as dragons, have an innate knowledge of what's actually valuable, so would wyverns.
Ah, damn it. Unless we sell it really well, you know?
If you
Really
were
good
wanting
bluff
to,
checks.
if you were wanting to befriend or convince a wyvern, it would definitely have to be a very careful mix of intimidation, of flattery, well, gifts, and food.
I have this blanket, yes.
And you would also guess that being dragons, they would be rather opposed to carrying people around on their backs.
Well, I mean, we befriend them first. That's step one, and then we can discuss the back carrying stuff. You know.
Do great eagles or something live in these mountains as well? Are they smart? Like, is that a thing?
You do know that there are rocks in these mountains.
Are rocks smart?
Rocks are not smart.
Okay.
They are animals, essentially.
We can't call on the eagles, is what you're saying.
They solve all of our problems.
The eagles are not coming. Hmm. Well, we kind of have to try. Do the Wyvern have some form of specialty food they like a lot? Like, is there something extremely
It sounds like just
tasty?
excessive
do you think?
amounts would be
Hmm.
they're into.
So we go to Karmaga and just go into the slums and be like, bring me all this meat. I don't care
Bring
what
me,
it
you're
is.
poor, you're weak, you're
Yes,
destitute.
just wring their necks and throw them on the pile. Bring us all the meat. We'll buy 2 tons of meat. I don't know, 500 gold.
Sometimes we'll
And we
pay
don't
2
care what
days.
it is. Just bring it to us.
I don't know. It's like we can promise them a lot from victory because there's a lot of things Sunda has that we don't care about. Like, oh, the Sun Clan territory can be a new hunting grounds. It's great. There's lots of Sun Clan people.